Hey guys, hope you all are doing well. It has been overwhelming to receive so many direct messages on Instagram and Messenger. It has been really overwhelming to me. I'm really grateful for all the appreciation you have been giving. It is helping me grow and serve. I have received a couple questions about the pattern activities. So I'm going to talk a little more about pattern activities today. I have been doing this with my older son, who is 4.5 now. Since he was 2.5, he loved it. Same I've been doing with my daughter. So I'm just going to give a brief about it. So pattern activities, what are they? So if you see during our daily routine, daily activities, there is a lot of sequencing, lot of logic we use. Kids don't have logic. That's what we are supposed to build in them. It takes time, it takes their age. Please don't feel pressured about it. But pattern activity in general helps with sequencing. They also help with mathematical skills. They also help with developing mathematical skills. What comes next? What comes before? So very much useful for before, after, remembering a sequence of numbers, the number line. They help with sequencing, mathematical skills, logic development. So overall, they're very important. It helps them to understand consequences. When we go ahead and tell a kid, oh, if you don't finish your activity, we won't be able to move on to the next activity or the science experiment. They don't really understand the seriousness of that thing. So some activities like this, they just helps them to understand one thing comes after another. So initially, to start with, you always start with objects. That's what I would recommend. And with objects, you can literally take anything you have around the house. These are some things I could quickly gather to show it to you. So if you see felt hearts here, these are, I love felt for kids. It just gives extremely good sensory stimulation to their skin, and it's a very good feel. So yeah, if you see, I have some felt hearts. The first thing I love to do with kids is start with colors, because a 2.5-year-old or a 3-year-old, the first thing they learn is colors. Around the house, we try and tend to teach them colors. So start with colors. Even you can use these pattern activities to teach them colors. So that's one other thing. So I have 3 color hearts here: pink, white, red. What I'll be doing is starting with very simple pattern involving 2 colors. So I put in pink heart, I put in red heart, I again put in pink, I hope it's visible, I again put in red. So now the little one has to pick what color comes next. They would either be able to pick it from the colors. I would go like pink, red, pink, red. What comes next? Pink. And then the little one would go ahead and put pink. We go to a little more complex activities. We put 2 heart. So now it's no more about just colors like pink, red, pink, red. It's the key here is for them to remember there were 2 pinks, and how many hearts do we have here? We only have 1 pink heart. So they need to pick another pink heart. And that's how we go about it. Gradually you would be adding 3 colors to it. So again, we'll start with a simple pattern. We go like pink, white, red, pink. So now with this, because at this stage the kid is ready to understand how the pattern ends. So over here you would be explaining the pattern starts with what color or object. So it starts with a pink heart. So when you see a pink heart, that means the middle, the between, whatever comes in between is the pattern you are continuing. That is what is going to be repeated next. So it would go like pink, white, red, pink, white, and red. So that's how you would be challenging it. Similarly, repeat it with different objects. Here I have these doilies. You get it at any dollar store or craft store. I love them because there are like so many different uses of it. You can do so much of different crafts with kids with this, or just for yourself. It's just, there are so many different uses. So here I just have two different doilies, gold and white. I would just go with simple patterns like white, gold, white, gold. My daughter loves this. She calls it little flowers. So we go like white flower, gold flower, white flower, gold flower. Next comes white flower. Again, the same thing. You repeat it with two same colors and the pattern, teaching them how the pattern ends and what comes in middle. So they go like white flower, two gold flower, white flower, then comes two gold flower. There is none, so you put two gold flowers. So these are some doilies, you could use those. Next, we have Magna-Tiles here, very readily available. Everyone would have it, you can easily get it. So I have all these Magna-Tiles here. With Magna-Tiles, the good thing is if your kid is little, a toddler, you can teach him or her the shapes. So again, with a very basic pattern, two shape patterns, and this helps with like getting to the pattern worksheets where they would be holding the pencil and drawing the shapes themselves. So it goes like square, triangle, square, triangle. I would purposely and deliberately put a different color to break the color sequence. So I have a green square here, I have a blue square. So they need to understand over here we are not doing colors and we are just doing shape. So that way you could teach them the shape pattern, move to a next level patterns, that's two squares and one triangle, or either ways you could literally make your own, three squares, two triangles. And that's how you will go about it. Gradually you will move to three shape patterns. So if I do like, these are hard to get out sometimes. They stick everywhere. Ooh, sorry. Okay, so three shape patterns. So we go like square, small triangle, big triangle, square. Now there is a little trick here. You can either go, if you're teaching your kid shapes, you can go just put it like this. If your kid knows the shapes and you want to make it a little more challenging, you could do inverted triangle. So they would go like square, straight triangle, inverted triangle, and square. So next, what they need to remember here is to put an inverted triangle. They cannot put a triangle like this. That's not the pattern. This is the pattern. So that's how you can challenge it. You could involve another shape of a pentagon. So that way you can just go about it. We love Magna-Tiles. You could also use small and big. So we also did this pattern with my girl when I was teaching her opposites. She loves patterns. She is very active, so she would not want to do worksheets more. She would like to just involve in activities. And when we were doing the opposites, I loved doing the small big pattern. I use these small squares and bigger squares. So small square, big square, small square, and then comes the big square. So that's how you go. Make it complicated. You just go like two small squares, one big square. Two small squares, one big square. Again, starts like this. So she just goes and puts two small squares, one big square. So that's how you can go about it. Next, I have some flowers, some handmade flowers. They're again different colors. You could do color. I did color sequences with this, like two white flowers, two pink, one black. The pattern sequence, you always move from a bigger object to smaller and then to worksheets. That's something which is recommended. Kids love to feel the object. So if you are moving from a bigger object, it's easier for them to hold. They love the feel of it. So this feels, it looks the same, but using small flowers would just feel a little more challenging for the kid. So I did two flowers, two white, two pink, one black, again white. So then they go like two whites and follow the sequence. So we did these flowers. I made them from foam sheets. I have these blocks. I love them. So many activities we could do with these. So first, for the startups or for younger kids, we would be starting with the colors. So all I've done is get all the square colors out there. Very easy to make. I can email you the printable sheet. Just send me a direct message or comment below with your email address and feedback, and I would be more than happy to send you the printable sheet of it. So here you go. You just put your blocks. I would start with whatever I've printed. So right here, red, brown, red. Simple pattern. They need to think and complete the pattern. So they would go with putting brown and red. So that's how we go a little more complex. Yellow, yellow, red, yellow. Again, complete the sequence. We are slowly moving to 3 color patterns here. Then we are moving to numbers and stuff like that. So great way to work patterns with the kids. They love colors. Great way to do their colors. Next, we will be moving on to a little more complex patterns, different shapes. Purposely, I haven't colored this for the blocks because you could literally use anything. If you don't have the blocks, you can cut out papers of that shape and have them do that. Cut out foam sheets of that shape and have them do the pattern. So over here, we would be doing rectangle, and then we have a semicircle, and then again a rectangle. So now the kid completes the pattern. What I like to do is do it separate so that they can easily complete it. For easier, I can cut it out. I cut it out small pieces. I just fold it like this so that they don't get confused with different patterns. So that's how the pattern sheet goes. You can see we start with simple patterns, two shapes, and then we gradually move with sequence. Again, I have some more here. And this, if you can see, I have some space left here. So gradually, when your little one is ready, you can have him or her draw the shapes and complete the patterns. I have the printable copy of it. So if you want it, I'll be more than happy to share it with you. Just leave a comment and your email address. I'll email you right away. Next, we are going to move to a pattern activity where we'll be using letters, because that is something we all look forward to, that kids follow the letter pattern. So we would be using that. We'll be starting same with very simple. I again like to use the objects first, then the worksheets. So here I'm using all my alphabets. I have these alphabets with a little magnetic board. I have, so my pattern would be A, B, and A, B. The kid would go ahead and finish this up. Same thing, I would try to, I have multiple letters in this, so I could do the pattern. If you don't have these multiple letters, you could do, you could write it down, just make squares, cut it down and use that way. Later, we would start with 3 letters. So it would be A, B, C, and then again we put A so that they know the given pattern is complete and they need to continue the pattern. So that's how you can just add like 2 A's, 1 B, whatever way it works. But this is like ABC pattern, or LMN pattern, or again we do it reverse to make it more challenging, CBA pattern, and put another C to make it complete. So that's how you would do the pattern activities, and gradually you just move to different worksheets with pattern activities. I hope this video helps. Do feel free to leave me some feedback about how you like it, if you do these activities, and what kind of activities you would like to see in future. Plus, if you have any questions about these activities or anything, do reach out, do let us know. You can find us on Instagram. All the details are in the description box. You can find us on Instagram, leave us a direct message, or you can just leave a comment right here. So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for watching.